Hello, welcome to the land of Kakiak. I'm Laurel, and I educate my three boys at home using the Robinson curriculum as the base of our education. And today I thought I would answer a question I got in one of the comments about how I coordinate all three kids and get all of their subjects in. So let's talk a little bit about a daily rhythm. So when I first started homeschooling, I had no idea how long things would take, how long they should take. I had some ideas about, like, I didn't want all day to be school. I thought there was got to be a more efficient way to school children. I watched a ton of videos on people's. I was looking for inspiration and stuff like that. So I have completely been on the other side of this screen. I used to literally write down, like, to the minute. I used to schedule out when we would start school. Like, I thought we should start at like 8 a.m., and then from 8 a.m. to like 8:15 should be like instructions for the day. Like, I literally wrote it down to the minute for the entire day. And I think I got that because I used to do that with, back when I taught fitness classes, I would have like a watch on. And when I was writing out my routines, I would, a lot of things are timed and it was timed to music and stuff. And so I would write down, like, to the minute, like when we should be doing the next combo or like switching circuits and stuff like that. And so I think I just have this habit. I noticed I did it the other day. I was teaching Sunday school and I made myself a list, like in chunks of time, like how long the activity should take so that I could like follow my watch and know that it's time to switch. I think that type of planning is useful for certain situations, like in a group fitness class when we got to change exercises or go to the next combo because like there's reasons why you might be scheduling things down to the minute. It worked in my Sunday school because I just had to make sure that the kids were getting through our activities and had time to clean up and get ready for their parents to get them. But I had just found that that level of detail just didn't work in my homeschool setting. So different kids, even my own children, certain things just take them. I just think things take as long as they take. And you also have to be cognizant of brain breaks, like they can only work for so long and then their brain's kind of like toast, like me too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jordan Peterson. He's pretty well known, but I listened to him talk one time about how long he could work, like sustain like a really high level of like focused, intense work, like when he'd be writing a book or something. And maybe that was 3 or 4 hours a day tops, and he could push himself and do it longer, but if he did, he would like pay for it the next day, right? He wouldn't be all there. He'd have some kind of like brain fog. Or so the kids are like that too, but their attention span, like their focus time, is even like shorter, especially when they're younger. So I just found that things were just going to take however long they were going to take, and it wasn't going to be the same for every kid. If you were going to start trying to make a daily rhythm or kind of like schedule and you give multiple kids, I only have 3 kids. Some people are doing this with a lot more kids, and so they may have a different strategy. But I've got 3, and they're 3 totally different, like, age, like, phases of life, because my kids are pretty well spaced out. So for us, I would say if you're in my type of situation, if you're more similar to me, start with a general idea. Start with something general. Don't start with, like I did. I started out super specific, and then I had to like loosen up. I would say start out more loose and general, and I would just have the order of things that you want to do established first. And that's where Robinson curriculum was helpful because it gave me an order. He said, start with math because that's the most, difficult cognitively. And they're learning new things all the time, Like every lesson, they're like learning something new. So that's like going to take more processing power, right? And so get your order. I do math, writing, reading, because writing also I think is harder. Writing is harder than just reading, for the older kids. I would say when they're still doing copywork, I have them do copywork based off of their reading. I have them read it so we can talk about it and all whatever that stuff is, and then do their copywork. But when they're doing when they're on like my 11-year-old, oh my guys, he's turning 12 tomorrow. Oh, my baby. He works independently now, so he does math, then is writing, then is reading. Then if we get to our plus subjects, we do those. So because I have an older kid, I will say it's helpful to my daily rhythm, that he is pretty much independent, right? And then I'm more just like checking in with him, unless we're having family subject time, which I'm going to bring all the kids in, which I'll talk about. I'll get to that. Because that's a really efficient way to homeschool. Start out general, get your order of the subjects, right? So for us, it's math, writing, reading, and then like history or science, if we get to it. For the younger kids, it would be math, reading, then writing, then our extra subjects. So order first, start more nebulous, just get your order, and then start playing around with how we can start getting an idea of how long things take, just by getting there and start doing some stuff with the kids. So I just built tiny bit by tiny bit, so I didn't worry about how long it was going to take. And because I just feel like a lot of teaching, or being the parent in the homeschool situation, is your intuition. Like you can see when they've had enough. Right? Sometimes I can tell. I start telling them something else, and I just see I've gone a step too far, and they're like, Mom, you're frying my brain. And I have to be like, never mind, we'll talk about that later. Step back. Then you kind of start getting an idea, and then you can build on that. So like I started with, copy work was like one sentence. And it was just tracing, right? It was tracing one sentence. Then it was trace one sentence, write one sentence. Then it was, after a while, trace 2 sentences, right? And I didn't go by time, I just went by quality. So when the quality of the writing was better, then, for a while, then I upped the amount. So he started, now my second grader, he's currently second grade, he is doing a page of copy work. Now, like my 6th grader, he's doing writing and rhetoric right now for his writing, and he can pretty much do that on his own. I just look over it at the end. I just look at his notebook. So I did a few lessons with him. Like I literally sat there with him, and I'd like ask him questions out of the book and stuff. And then I was like, I really think he could do this on his own. I don't think he really needs me to sit here and do it. I think he could take this over, and I'll just look at when he gets to the writing part. I'll just look at that, and I just have him set his timer for an hour. And I was like, you've got an hour in here, right? So just get as far as you get in an hour. And I don't really care how far that is. It's because some things are going to be new concepts. They're going to take longer. So for that, I just say, set your timer for an hour and get as far as you can go, right? And do as well as you can too. So if that hour, you spend 1 hour going back over your paragraph or whatever your piece is, I don't care. If you know what I mean? Doesn't mean he has to do multiple lessons. So I also, whatever the order of the subjects are, I kind of keep all 3 of my kids in that same general order. Everett will be doing his Saxon math on his own. William will be doing his math fact like worksheets and flashcard work, which he mostly does on his own. And then when he's done, like maybe we play a math game together. And then Bo, he's mostly playing. He's in preschool, right? So he's like playing a lot, and he's really into drawing right now. And I usually play a math game, like a number sense game with him during the math block. And then, sometimes William will come down and join us when he's done with his stuff. And we kind of try to keep on track with Everett and how long it takes him to get through his Saxon lesson. He just has to do 1 lesson a day. So I kind of keep us on track that way. Next would be writing for Everett. He actually does his writing and rhetoric while I do reading with William. I do his McGuffey lesson that we're doing together, and then I get him started on his copy work. And then Bo is usually kind of playing a little bit, but once I get William onto his copy work, I can switch my attention over to Beauregard, and I can do some phonics with him, and we play some phonics games and together too. And then we practice writing some letters, and I just kind of work with him until William's done with his copy work. And then I say, okay, you have a break now. and then I check his copy work. And if he gets restless, like if he's had it, although I will say he stays pretty engaged with the phonics games and like the writing and stuff like that, practicing the letters. He loves to write on the chalkboard, so if we do it on the chalkboard with him, he loves that. And I also got him some of those magic copy books, you know, with the like the ink that disappears, but it's got the little traceable. I'll link them down below for you so you see what I mean. I like those because they're good to take. They're good to just to use over and over, and I like the font in there. It's kind of similar to this. So I'm trying to stay consistent with whatever. I'm changing over a lot of our resources to try to have a consistent font, or I could just like read to him for a little bit, right, in that block. And then we check copy work. Whenever they're done with that, then usually they get to go have a break. It's usually getting pretty close to lunchtime. I will say we try to get into the schoolroom. I try to get everyone in there around 9 o'clock. Then that's a good cue for me to start getting lunch ready while the little kids are outside playing. Everett's usually still working through his writing and rhetoric, you know, his hours not up or whatever. And then I actually have him do his vocabulary next because he can do that all by himself. And then as soon as he knows when he's done with vocabulary, he knows he gets to take a break. It's kind of just by trial and error. I just know if I start at 9, this is just about how long all this stuff takes. And then there's that lunch break, and we all get like a nice brain break at lunch. If we do, I may have them do a quick chore at lunchtime. You know, like this may be when you guys need to get your sheets off your bed and bring them down. Or, you know, I want you guys to vacuum the entryway or like whatever little chore list I have for them. Then I call them all back in from lunch at the same time, and then we go back to school. So then Everett would do his reading, so whatever reading book he has. So right now he's reading a Henty book, and so because I'm having him do the study guide with the Henty book, I just have him read one chapter and then do the study guide questions, and I call that good for now. Usually I would have him reading for an hour if I was just reading a normal RC list book that I don't use study guides for. I would have him just read for the hour, set a timer, and he does his my book notes and chapter notes and book summary assignment that I do with each book usually. So then he just does that on his own. In the meantime, William and Bo can take they can get through like whatever else they like have. Like Bo doesn't have a lot. He's preschool. We've already done numbers and letters for him for the day. So he usually wants to do, when we come back in from recess, like a craft project. So I've got a bunch of paint. It's usually paint, Play-Doh, or kinetic sand. Those are like the 3 things that I tend to kind of like rotate. Like right now he's on a painting kick and he just wants to paint stuff. So I'll like set him up in the kitchen or something and let him paint. And William would love to join in and stuff like that. So William's kind of done with his 3 R's at this point. So he's just we're kind of keeping busy and doing things while Everett is getting through his reading, so that then we can all come back together and do our family subjects, which are science or history, whichever one we're doing. And then we do those family style, so it's super efficient homeschooling, and those are fun. And at this age for us, it's just like no stress, you know. We do really, really enjoy those subjects. And then, you know, then we're off. And then whenever we're done, we're done. And if things go haywire and we don't get to those extra subjects, we don't get to them. Like, it's not a big deal. So the one thing I will say I always actually do before math is we always do Bible in the morning. This is all kind of evolved. We all come together, and I follow the RC advice of being in one room together. There's a supervision issues, especially with the little ones, right? We're all in there. We're just working. We do Bible, then we do math, then we do I will say, you know, reading or writing stuff. Then we do lunch. We do crafts kind of things with the little ones, and Everett finishes up he does his reading block, and then we come back together for family subjects if we have any that day. We don't always have family subjects. How long does that take me? So I would say, oh my gosh. So like we start at 9 ideally, right? 9:30, something like that. I do prioritize. I want my kids to sleep. I want like a normal, healthy wake up, you know. And I like the time to myself in the morning to come down and kind of get my day started and a little slower roll to the day. You know, I like to come down, I like to check the computer. I like to get my coffee going. I like to start some laundry. I like to put away the dishes. And I like to get like a healthy breakfast going. And so all that takes a little bit of time. So I like to have like an hour to like mosey down here and kind of get the house warmed up. You know, just get the day going and flowing. Because if I don't get those dishes put away, if I don't get that next load of laundry in, or take the next load, you know, or full whatever, things start backing up, and then the house becomes less pleasant to live in. You know, gotta I'll feed all the pets, you know. So that I hope that was helpful. Let's try to recap. Let's see. So first, decide what you want to do. What, you know, get the order of your subjects down. Have maybe a set time that you want to start by. Like, just know yourself, like how long it takes you to get up and get going when you're ready. I have found that I cannot do these. If it gets too late in the day, I don't have the energy to do a lot of schooling. Like, I can't do like hard subjects like late in the day. So like if there's anything, I can't be teaching past, I don't know, 2 p.m. at the latest, right? So if we do all that stuff and we come back in and Everett is done with his reading by say 1:30, then that's about the last energy I have to like put together like science activities or wrangle kids in, you know. So I'd say we start around 9 and I'm done by 3. Like I can't, but I do say we do take a pretty good chunk break in the middle for lunch and like playtime and like some chores and stuff like that. But the little kids, like most of their stuff, I mean, is pretty much done before lunch. It's just it's just my older son who has a little bit longer, but he's doing most of his stuff independently. Get your order of subjects, get your start time, start just feeling out how long I would say with RC, there's just so much flexibility. It's not like you're having to cover a certain amount of content every lesson or something like that. You can really pace for your child's needs. So I just love that flexibility. I love about, like, we do a McGuffey lesson, just one a day. It's just the right length of time. It's always worked out. It's just always been just dead on, just right, not too short, not too long. I love the McGuffey readers. I'm so thankful for RC for introducing me to them, because I had literally never heard about them before RC. It totally changed our homeschool. Copywork is simple, and then you just teach things as they come up. But that's kind of more my teaching theory, I guess, and that's less so schedule. So just feel it out, get to where you know each child's gonna be a little different, like what they can do. So, you know, just take the time to kind of like feel that out and kind of check what time is it? Like, how long did this take? And then we learn a lot from our errors, you know, like, oh, that was a mistake. We definitely cannot do, you know, like I learned from personal experience from making a mistake of trying to do like science and history in the same day. Like I can't do all the subjects every day. Every day we're going to do the 3 R's and we're going to do Bible. And anything else extra, whether it's my spelling boot camp that I like to do, that I've been doing, or history or science, or if we want to do some extra handwriting practice, because sometimes kids need some remedial handwriting practice, or I don't know, whatever else. Something's got to give, so don't try to pack too much. Plus, you've got like activities and things. So we've got Taekwondo, we've got youth group, you know, we've got all types of stuff going on that we need to have energy for and the time to get to also. And they've got to do some chores. They need some work ethic, you know. So hopefully that helps. Get a start time, get an order. Try to keep your kids, for me it was helpful, in the same block of whatever they're doing. The math block, the language arts block, the science block, you know, the history block, the craft block. Just keep things doing and do as many things family style as you can. Like I think it's pretty hard to do the reading, writing, and arithmetic family style. Yeah, kids are just at different levels and stuff. But you can do those more broad subjects, those less skills based and more just like I don't know, content based subjects, family style, and it's really fun to all come together and do that. Oh, and also to help yourself, simplify as much as you can. We are doing so much in our homes especially when we're homeschooling. There's just so much. Simplify as much as you can. I made a video a while back. It was not very. I was going to do a whole series on how to simplifying things, but it wasn't very popular. So I was like, I don't want to waste my time. But I would just say simplify stuff. Simplify your wardrobe. This is one of my mom uniforms. Simplify your meal planning. Simplify. It really helped me. I just got it in my head for like breakfast because I don't want to wake up and have to think and figure out like what to make for breakfast all the time. So I rotate oatmeal, and whenever I make oatmeal, I make like a double batch because I just put half of it in the fridge and they have it again the next day. And the next day is eggs and toast, and then we are back to oatmeal. I pretty much have eggs and toast and oatmeal. That's what the kids are going to have all the time. If they really want to, I try to keep granola bars. Sometimes they'll have like a granola bar and some sliced up salami. I like to keep salami in the fridge and like some fruit. And so sometimes I call it a snack plate, right? So yeah, maybe those 3 things are basically all we have, and we just rotate them consistently. And I just know, just always keep those things. Those are your staples. Just always have salami, some kind of fruit, oatmeal, and bread. And of course, I get eggs from my chicken, so bread and butter. So simplify your morning. Have those things ready and on hand, and it'll be so much better. It'll make your morning roll out so much smoother and get a better start to the day. Just help things not get behind like right away. Well, leave me your comments. What's your best tip? Let me know if any of this was helpful. Okay, bye.